that is just cheating. They surrendered. Sorry, John. Oh, do not show me kids. Do not show me kids. Stop! Kill him! I don't care! I don't care that he's one of yours. He's not one of yours. He's disgusting.
Find somewhere to hide.
For the love of God, Jamie. There's your thing.
Kingslayer!
Oh, Jesus. Oh, for the...
We need to get the Queen out of King's Landing. Listen. That's the sound of a city dying. If you kill another king before you die, they'll sing about you forever. You're no king.
Yeah, he's really not.
Oh, but I am.
No, you're not.
And I fucked the Queen.
That doesn't make you a king. So did he.
If I win, I'll bring your head to Cersei so you can kiss her.
He's funny. Ah! You've won. Your throne is... You're not going to have a throne to sit on. Stop it! No. Definitely not. Oh. What? Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh, this is not how you go, Jamie.
Your Grace, it isn't safe here any longer.
The Red Keep is the safest place in the city.
The Unsullied have breached the gates of the Red Keep.
It's very far away.
Another king for you.
You're not a king!
But I got you. I got you.
What do you want? A fucking medal?
I'm the man who killed Jaime Lannister.
Shut up. Nobody cares. Nobody will know you.
Go home, go. Fire will get her. Or one of the Dothraki. Or maybe that dragon will eat her. Doesn't matter, she's dead.
I'm going to kill her.
You think you wanted revenge a long time? I've been after it all my life. It's all I care about. And look at me. Look at me! You want to be like me?
So she's not gonna kill me?
Sandor. Thank you.
Hey, Grace.
Yeah, girl. No.
Hello, big brother.
Sir Gregor, stay by my side.
Ooh. Was that a...
Sir Gregor, I command you.
Obey your queen, Sir Gregor.
Okay. He died. Oh, that is unnerving. Excuse me. Coming through. Bye-bye. Have fun.
Yeah, that's you.
Really? You? Oh, don't make me sick. It's not funny. No, 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 no. You don't get to do that trick twice. Ooh. Oh. You're nasty.
This way.
Me too. Whoa. Maybe not. Ah.
I want our baby to live.
Think you get out of there.
I want our baby to live.
Go back the way you came.
I want our baby to live. Please don't let me die. Please don't let me die. I don't want to die.
Look at me.
I don't like this. Not like this. Not like this.
Look me in the eye. Don't look away. Don't look. Look at me. Just look at me.
How is he still standing?
Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Only us.
Hello. Oh, maybe it's not her. Maybe it was just covered in other people's blood. Nice. Oh, it's dark. Oh, I didn't realise it got dark. Yeah, that was episode 5, the penultimate episode of Game of Thrones at all. many main characters. Varys. So yeah. Okay, let's. If I forget anyone, I forget. I'm sorry, but let's try and remember. So Varys. First of all, either I've missed something or they haven't explained it properly. How did Daenerys find out that Varys had let people know? Well, because he was writing a letter to say that Jon was like the truthful heir or whatever. But it looks like that letter never got sent. Because if it did get sent, then like everyone would know. Like the whole of Westeros would know that Jon is the better claim. But it clearly didn't get sent. Because I feel like people would have had more reactions to the fact that Jon was actually a Targaryen. So how did, I nearly said Cersei, how did Daenerys find out that Varys had said anything? And who had he said anything to? I don't know. Either I've missed something or they've missed something. But anyway, I get why he did it, because he has always said that he serves the realm, and whilst he has been like a sneaky snake or a sneaky spider, I do believe that his intentions have always been that he doesn't care who is on the throne so long as it's the right person. He doesn't care what family they come from or anything like that. He has no loyalties. He had no loyalties to the Baratheons. He had no loyalties to the Lannisters or even the Starks. Not that any of them were trying to get on the throne, but he had no loyalties to any families. He just wanted the right person on the throne, and he, rightly so, as we all came to find out, especially Jon and Tyrion by the end there, suspected that Daenerys was probably not the best choice for the throne. So Varys, I feel like I'm missing a big chunk. Don't think anyone of significance like died during like the majority of the battle. But the Hound in the Mountain. So we got Cleganebowl. I wouldn't say it was underwhelming, because the reason that I thought it was underwhelming at first was because like the Hound was like doing everything in his power and the Mountain was just like standing there because of his undeadness. So it did feel like it was going to be a one-sided fight, when it was like, okay, well, the Mountains can't die. You know, you stick a freaking sword in his eye and he's like, what of it? But then the Hound like literally does the thing that he's been the most terrified of all his life, since the Mountain scarred him with the fire, pushed his face down into the fire. He jumped into the fire, sacrificed himself, but to also kill the Mountain. So they both died at the same time in fire. It looked great. It looked visually amazing. Jaime and Cersei. Jaime clearly, from the very first episode of Game of Thrones, became pretty quickly the most hated character in Game of Thrones because of what he did to Bran. And, you know, the reason of why he did that to Bran, because he was sleeping with his twin sister, and it, you know, it's frowned upon, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then he, ever since like season 2, he has been on this redemption arc. Now, obviously, a lot of the material of Jaime's character comes from the original source of the books. Obviously, since like season 6 or whatever, the show has gone past the books that are out currently, so we don't know what happens after Jon gets stabbed and betrayed by the Night's Watch. That's where I think, if I remember correctly, the books have ended as of yet and haven't carried on since, because George R.R. Martin hasn't released the next one. So we don't know what Jaime's arc is in the books after that point. So in the show, obviously, he leaves Cersei, and we're like, yes, like, his redemption arc is almost there. And then, like, he sleeps with Brienne. And, you know, I was a bit about that, because I liked the fact that they both had this kind of mutual respect for each other. It was clear that when they first met, Brienne probably, like, thought he was attractive, but she didn't like his personality. But, you know, over time, they definitely had this mutual respect for each other, which I liked, rather than it being a romantic relationship. However, if being in a romantic relationship with Brienne was going to pull Jaime completely away from Cersei, and that then closes the arc and closes the relationship between him and Cersei, then I was all for it. Then when he left Brienne, I was like, okay, I think what he's saying to Brienne is to make her stay. He's hurting her to help her. So he's saying that he's going back to Cersei because he's a monster just like she is, so that she won't follow him, because I thought that he was going to kill Cersei. Now, not necessarily because of the prophecy that is in the books about the Valonqar little brother wrapping his hands around Cersei's neck and choking the life out of her. That's in the books. That is never ever mentioned in the show, but people have clung on to that, and they could have still done it in the show, just because the person didn't say it as a prophecy. And obviously it would have been like a surprise for people who don't read the books or who don't know any of the details from the books, for Jaime to do that. But it felt like it was going that way. It felt like Jaime was just saying the stuff to Brienne just to keep her there, because if he told Brienne what his plan was, that he was actually going to kill Cersei, then Brienne would have wanted to go with him and help him and protect him. But that was obviously not the case. He obviously still had these feelings for Cersei, and he just could not let her go, all the way up until the point where they died together. And they died by a pile of rocks falling on top of them. I don't know how I feel about that yet. You know, Cersei, as much as Jaime has been, like, you know, a villain since day one, she has done some terrible, terrible things. And a lot of people have wanted to get revenge on her. Arya is, like, number one for that. She's had Cersei on her list ever since the beginning. She was, like, one of the only people that Arya still had on her list that had still, like, survived. Like, she had Joffrey. Obviously she had the Mountain, but she gave that kill to the Hound. So yeah, she had Joffrey, Ilyn Payne, people like that. But Cersei was obviously the big one. Now, I know that she killed the Night King, and I know that in terms of storytelling, they would be like, well, you know, we can't give Arya the killing of the Night King and Cersei. So I get that they restricted themselves there, really. I think if Jon had killed the Night King, they would have freed up Arya to kill Cersei. But I think they wanted to have a shock of who kills the Night King. Therefore, they chose Arya rather than Jon. But that obviously means that then Arya wouldn't have been able to go ahead and kill Cersei. So yeah, I'm not sure about that one. It was a little bit anticlimactic, and I guess it's like bittersweet for us viewers, in the sense of, like, yes, Cersei died, but, like, none of our heroes, like, had the pleasure of killing her. You know, she died by rocks. It wasn't at the hands of anybody else, like, specifically. And she got to die with the person that she's always loved. So she kind of got, like, a happy, bittersweet ending kind of thing. And yeah, Daenerys is crazy. Daenerys is the Mad Queen now. Yay. Not so yay. I saw the Mad Queenness coming. I've definitely seen it coming. More so in this season than any other, but I think from, like, season 6, she definitely, when it was getting closer to the time when it was like, yeah, actually, I'm about to cross the sea, I'm about to go back to my home, and this is my chance to take the Iron Throne. I think before that she had the hope that she would get home, but it wasn't like a certainty ever. So she focused on living and helping slaves and stuff like that. But then when it was like, right, I'm getting over there, I think the power got to her. Didn't think she would turn in the way that she did in this episode. So the bells ring for the surrender and she decides, no, screw it, I'm gonna kill everyone, even the innocents. Yeah, that was a bad move on Daenerys' part, because the innocents, the civilians of Queen's Landing, Jesus, it really is Queen's Landing, isn't it? King's Landing. They may be poor, they may be starving, some of them be homeless, etc., etc. They have more influence than the people in power, because they're the ones who live there, and they're the ones who can turn or not on a new ruler. They've never really turned on anybody else. I mean, they threw crap at Joffrey one time because they were starving, but then they also agreed with him earlier on in the series, when he decided to behead Ned Stark. They were all for that. Obviously they were just told what they were told, they didn't know the ins and outs of it and everything, but they chose their side, which was Joffrey. Then they sort of turned on him by throwing shit at him, but no one's ever really turned on. Again, Cersei, and walking through the walk of shame, she just got stuff thrown at her, but no one's ever actually like physically attacked them. The thing that the people who survive, however many innocent civilians of King's Landing survive, will remember, the last thing they will remember from their last queen, Cersei, was her letting them into the Red Keep. Now, yes, they ended up being killed in the Red Keep, but there was more of a chance of them being killed outside of the Red Keep. So it was like Cersei knew that either Daenerys wouldn't attack the Red Keep, which meant that the civilians would be safe, however, so would she, and there would be a chance of her armies fighting back at Daenerys' army, or Daenerys would prove to be just like her father and burn them all, and that is what the innocents would remember. The innocents would remember that Cersei gave them a shelter, and whilst they were killed while sort of under Cersei's protection, it was their new queen who decided to do that. So Daenerys is going to find it very hard, if not completely impossible, after that one action. Nothing that she's ever done before has set her so far back in terms of people loving her and wanting her to be queen. Like when she was in Marine and she freed the slaves, and all the the slaves gathered around her and were calling her Misa, which means mother. That's what Daenerys should be, but she's completely turned into the opposite, and it's going to be very hard in this very last episode, if not impossible, for her to turn people's opinions, especially Jon and Tyrion. So yeah, that was episode 5, the penultimate episode. We have 1 week left, 1 episode left, and Game of Thrones is over. So after that episode, let's have a week to chill and speculate and theorize, and I will see you next week for Game of Thrones Season 8, the final season, Episode 6, the final episode. Bye!